Hello guys, welcome to the Code Lab. In today's lecture, we'll be talking about operations of data. So, what did I understand by operations of data? Okay, fine. Operation of data refers to data that is either being manipulated or doing the execution of the programs. So, what does that mean? Or let me bring it again. Operation of data refers to data that is either being manipulated or doing the execution of a functions. So now let's go to the next slide and understand more. So these are the list of operation of data we actually bring up in this particular lecture here. It's more than this, definitely more than this. But in this specific lecture, this is what you should try and understand, that this specific diagram shows the list of operation of data we have in our C++ programs. So the first one we have divide, multiple, increment, or this is the increment. We have formatting. Oh, sorry, scatter things here. I have built-in utilities, and I have decrements. I have a lot of these there. So what does all this means? Fine. We have divide. This is a situation whereby you get in a specific section whereby you need to divide your specific value. So you introduce the division and divide operations of data. Then you can use of multiply, like you want to multiply. So you can use this multiply to multiply value also when you get to situation whereby you need to use it. And we have also subtract, we have the increment, and we have formatting. So these are the list of the operation of data we have, and we try and understand more as we proceed in our lecture. So first, let's close this day. I'll open another one there, because in today's lecture we'll be talking about the basic operation. We said operation of data. Then today's lecture we'll be talking about the basic parts of the operations. We won't really go inside the depth part of it, so you guys can understand how it definitely works. And in this lecture we'll be talking about basic operation. Sorry, I didn't really show up the subtitle, but I want you guys to understand this specific topic, not the subtitle, but just try to understand what the operation of data means. So I'm sorry about that. Anyway, so the next slide here bring up the basic part of the operation of data. So we have module, we have divide, we have subtract, we have add, we have multiple or multiply. Sorry. So we have multiplying. I think it's supposed to be y. Multiply. It's supposed to be y. I make it there. There. So now in this specific section here, we will try to understand little bit more. Sorry, I don't really say this clear. So we understand. We'll be using the data type of integer to access our basic operations. So in this specific section here, we had two value. Most of you guys are familiarized with this, where you can add two values together to get a specific one. So here we had two value. We had number 1 and we had this number 2, and we had it together and we store the value in sum. So in this section here, we actually did other sums, and we had first norms, second norms, and we had the first number again. That's first number, and we conclude everything. Sorry, there's error here. We conclude everything we had here, and we conclude it inside of this variable here. So the totals of this number here is stored in this specific place, and it is printed here. So this is something you should know. This is something you should have known, I guess. So if we go to the next one here, we have subtraction. So this one is a situation whereby you can subtract data, and I'm very sure you guys should be a little bit more familiarized with subtraction. So here we had the first numbers and the second numbers, and we had it together in order to get the value we had here. So the totals of these specifically, let me just say 10. Let me just 10 there. So specifically, the totals of this one, the subtraction of this one here from this one here will give us the answer that should be here. So whatever value we had in our, we didn't really specify any value. We didn't really specify any value because we didn't really declare any value now. So whatever value we declared there, we will be able to use, we're able to reuse it from this particular section here. We can reuse it again. We just use subtraction, and I mean this minus sign, so to get our specific value. So I hope you guys are getting this. This is just what you guys should understand. You understand what data type is, variable means, and the initialize part means. So that's what the subtraction operation is. And if we go to the next slide here, we have multiply operation. So with this institution whereby you can either multiply the first numbers, your first numbers and your second number. So the total numbers of your the total multiplication of the first numbers and the second numbers. Sorry, I am in another slide. So the totals of the two will give you what should be here. So we do the same thing here, but we use 2 in order to get different products. So in order to get different products, that's the value that should be stored in this other product here. So then we print it out and we do the same thing here, and that's it for that. And the last one is or let's say this is just the, let's say conclude it to say, oh, I didn't really complete my setup. Sorry about that. Really sorry. So here is specifically it's a section whereby you can divide. This is a section whereby you can divide the first numbers and the second number together in order to get the specific value that should be here. Well, you guys should try and understand something here. You try and understand something really new about this division stuff here. And in this other quotient here, we will have the first numbers and divided by this 2 and divided by the numbers. So we get the totals of these ones, or the sum of this, or the conclusion of this will give us the quotient here, and what we have here also. So let's go to our C++, let's go to our code, and that's our Visual Studio code, and work on it then. So we're gonna open this specific Visual Studio code, and we open our folder where we create our configuration file, and let's just copy our template, civil template here, and once we copy it, we will paste it. So these are our previous section. So let's just create a new window, and let's close this one. And so now let's copy our template. Copy. So once you copy it, just go inside the new folder, we just give, which is basic operations. So we just paste it. Then when we paste it finish, and we can just go outside and drag it on top of it. So you guys should remember that you won't be able to have access to MSVC compiler. So you will not be able to use the MSVC compiler. So that's the reason why. That's the disadvantages of not using the command prompt. So we just want to drag the folder inside the Visual Studio directly in order to obtain our code, or in order to obtain this very fast. And you can just close this or minimize anyhow if you like. So let's go to the main CPP, and let's try and wrap things up. So I'll zoom this thing in order to see we are working on. Then fine. So now I'm gonna declare and initialize value that's using the integer. So I'm gonna be using int and number 1, because that's what we use in our program. So we're gonna have 10, and we're gonna have 5. So int 5. So we have two variable here. The first one is first nums, and the second one is the first one is number 1 and the second one is number 2. So we have the value of 10 stored in this one using our data type of integer. We have the second one here stored, we have the second one here stored the value of 5 inside this specific variable here. And now let's start using our operation data. Let's start from addition. So we're going to start from addition here. So we're not going to be typing those things, and let's just do copy and paste. So we're going to make it snappy. So let's just do copy and paste, and let's use this one here. So copy and paste. Fine. Let's unlike. You can just unlike those things and use your tab key. Tab. Once you use your tab, it goes forward. And fine. So now we have our stuff set up here. Just some little adjustment. We will just do make here little adjustment. So now we have this simple code written on the face of our Visual Studio Code editor. So now we have the first norms in, which is 10. We have the second norms, which is 5. So we know the addition of the first norm, which is what 10, and the second one, which is 5 here. It is being stored here. I'm gonna get the value of 15. So we're gonna have this one, which is 1. It's gonna be 10, and here is gonna be 5, and here is gonna be 10. So that's gonna be 25. So the value we're going to have here is the sum, that's 15, and the one we have other sum, that should be 25. So it's a very simple program that you can easily use your head to calculate in order to before the compiler does do his own arithmetic operations. So now let's try. I don't know if we should run this, or let's try and run it. We are learning actually. So let's try and run this code, and let's just see what's going to come out from it. So you can just use your control shift B and control shift B to bring up your compiler. So you can just use control shift B, control shift B. So we're gonna use GCC. You can either use your direction key from your keyboard. So it's not necessarily you hand over you handle your mouse. You can choose not to use your mouse. If you are using an external mouse or anyhow, you can use your keyboard or anyone you feel like. But if you want to show up those things, you just use your keyboard. It's very fast. That is why it's a command key. So as this is loading, let's just try and avoid being time wasting. So in order to do that, here we're gonna do something really simple too. We're gonna make it subtractions, and then we're gonna go to PowerPoint and copy exact subtraction we have here. So let's just do some copy and paste and stuff like that. So in order to avoid time wasting stuff, let's just paste this on here right now. So what I'll do is I'm gonna do tab. I hope this doesn't read my code though, because I've run it. There's error in this stuff here. The front save. I want to look for the front save. I'll try and use the same front with the Visual Studio in order to avoid error. I didn't think the compiler read this specific programs. The compiler has passed this specific position before the result is being generated. So now let's try and divide the strings. So in order to have a very clean code written on our terminal. So now we're gonna do so good. So after we have our binary code generated, and what we just do is that we click on this specific terminal. You just click on enter key. So once you have your enter key in here, so I don't think there should be error here again. It's just trying to generate. Or is there any error? No, there's no error. So now we're gonna have control, and this is your signs we have here. I showed you in the last lecture that if you want to bring up the terminal, you can just use let me zoom this thing clearly so you guys can see it. You can see the character I made. Sorry, not this one. So use your control and this specific character. So this is your specific character. You can just use it with your control, like control. Sorry. Control plus this. I mean this one. So it will actually open the terminal for us. Sorry. So this specific command, this control, when you hold your control plus this specific value here, it will open our terminal for us. And if you want to open the or you want to run your binary or generate your binary code, you can just use a control plus shift and b, sorry, shifts and plus b. So we open the or bring the list of our compiler for us. So those are the things you have to understand. If you really need it, I'm sorry for you guys that don't need it, I'm sorry about that. So if you need it, you can just use such things and you get your code very snappy. What's wrong with this code? Okay, yeah, there's error here. Okay, fine. So now let's just try and do something just snappy in order to, yes, let's try and check sum. So it's very easy for us to, you know, just wrap it up. So now I'm gonna use control and the specific symbol we indicated the other times in order to show up our terminal. So we can either even use your mouse again to you end up using mouse to either use the mouse to adjust this terminal. So while this waiting, we're gonna you can just even type the stuff now if you are sure of what you typed. I've typed it, I'm sure of what I typed, but I'm not sure it's gonna be I'm sure and I'm not sure. So while this is waiting, or please be fast in snap or whatever it is. Oh well, I'm sure, I'm very good. So I press enter. So now you're gonna get 25. So we have 15 and we have 25 here. So that is just what we have inside of our variable. So we did the sums of these two values here. The value we have here, 1 and 2, we have to store it in this sum here, and we print the sum here. And the other value here, we had the we had some value again. We we repeated the value of number 1 again in order to get 25. So that's just very easy for us to do in our brain. Sorry. So now let's try and run generate a binary code again, or let me just try and bring everything up in order for you to see it, so it will reduce less of our time. So I'm going to copy everything at once. So I'm going to copy everything or use everything at once in order to have a very fast code. So now we're gonna have this, and the same thing is showing up here, which we're gonna adjust. So we're gonna be adjusting this, and yeah, sorry. So okay, good. And the third one, which is, what's the third one? I have error here too. So the third one, which is division or quotient, and we're gonna have this closed for now, and let's just use our enter key and bring this down, and let's tab this, sorry. So we're gonna tab this one forward and adjust of this one too. That's why reusing of code is not really okay. I try and reuse it and I make same error for everything, because I didn't really use the specific value or specific text for it. I reuse the text. Okay, good. I have my operation, I have everything printed on the screens, and let me try and divide the whole thing. So divide and copy and paste it here, and I do it copy and paste here also. And find this side here, I'm going to close gap, and here I'm going to tap forward, sorry, and enter. So now I'm going to run this code, everything. So I'm going to run everything, and so you can just use your control shift P and to generate your binary code. So enter key, and just to, since you are on the GCC, and let's generate our binary code for this. So as we work down, we try and wrap things up here anyway. So this is going to be very fast one, I hope so. Okay, good. So now let's try and bring up our terminal by using your control and that sign I really didn't say. So okay, fine, so let's just try and run collab in. Good. If you should, send this up, come here. I think there's a way you can make this thing. Anyway, let's just try and drag this all up here. And let's try and check our programs here. Okay, fine, this is everything we had in our code. So we have the sums and it gave us 15s, and we have this is just for additions, and here we have from the subtraction we have the differences, which is 5. So if we should check the differences here, we have 10 and we have 5. So sorry, not here. So we have 10 here in our one, we have 10, we have 5 here. So 10 minus 1 is 5, and 10 minus 5 is 5. So we have it stored here, and we have the other difference. Sorry, there's I repeated something. Did I repeat? This I repeated something again. The other difference, the products. I'm coming. The other I can't really detect here. It's kind of maybe from the Visual Studio Code, because my code is really clear here. I actually offered a very clean code. Yeah, I did some kind of subtractions of okay, let's try and rebuild this stuff again. Maybe it's just let's try and rerun the code again, because I don't understand what's going on. I did the minus of this. I minus what's here minus this one here, which is 10. So that's 1. 10 minus 10 is equals to 0. 0 minus 1. Those are I'm sure really expectable. So let's try and run it again. So Control Alt V, and let's run this again. So let's try and check what's going on our code. I want to use the normal way here. Sorry, I'm not using my command line anymore. So let's just try and check this thing, and let's try and see the results. Okay, nothing, it's not there again. Yeah, it's not there again. The other difference is no more there again. So that is from should I say the compiler or from the Visual Studio? I think the compiler. If it is the compiler will repeat the same thing. Maybe it's from this Visual Studio, because the compiler should repeat the same thing again. There is error in this code, but I was like, what's going on? Because I did this in a very clean and clear way. I make use of my variable, or I print my variable well in just in a single form. I just see it in the repeated forms. Oh my god, it's still there. What's going on? Okay, once I shrank it, something goes wrong. Okay, let's just see again. Once I shrank the let's see it now. This is fine. Once I shrank it, something goes wrong. I shrank it down. You see, something goes wrong. So anyway, that's just it. This is what I want you guys to understand, that what's wrong is that, or let's see, sorry, that's Visual Studio. Is Visual Studio that is giving us such kind of error. Our code is okay. So now we have this. Oh, sorry. So this is just on one side we have sums, and we have the other sums, and we have this, and we have 10 here. But when we get to this quotients, and we have 2 and 0, let's try and check it out. 2 0, what's going on here? So we have this is what is this? This is 10, and this is 5. So 5 divided by 10, it's gonna give us 2. Then that's what we're gonna be here. So we have 10 here, we have 10 here. So 10 divided by 2. Let's try and use our calculator for that. Let's just take out the stuff and do our. So let's just use calculator. So we're gonna say 10 divided by 2. Let's go to standard mode. So I'm gonna say 10 divided by 2. Where's division? No, divided by 2. Then what's the result? Okay, 5. Okay, then and 2 divided by 10. That's 10. 0.2. 0.2. Yeah, that is just the result of our value here. So here, we are using integer, and integer does not support the fractional number. So integer is going to chop off this value of 2 away, and it's going to use the value of 0. So that's the reason why we're having 0 here. That's the reason why we are having 0 in our equations here. So we see we have 0 here. So that's the reason why we have 0. But if you have used double would have include both the 0.2, but because we are using only integer, so that's why our value is not, the fractional value is not included. So I hope you understand the reason why this is 0 and the reason why it is 0.2. So we use our division to get this specific value, and it's 0.2. And the reason why it's not printing it is because it is integer, and integer supports only decimal, whole number, does not support fractional number. So I hope you get what that means. And the last one which I want you guys to understand is that what we did, or when we did something like sorry, let me go back to this function. When we do something like, very simple stuff. So when we do something like 10 divided by 50, we're gonna get 5. What of the remainder, the 1? How does the compiler handle this one? This is what works here. We have what we call module. I said I want to explain this module, I'll come back. So module is actually the remainder of the value that has been summed or that has been calculated, which is cannot be used. Example, let's say I use like this one now. This is a division number, so I use 5, or say 10 divided by 5. I'm gonna get the result of 5, but the remainder is what we call module. So it's either module is used in a way that, let's just see, let me just break this slide here so that you guys will understand. Copy and paste in. So I break this slide to 2, and I did something like module. So module, this is how module work actually. If you use something like this for module, so module is gonna make the result of module is gonna be 1, because it's actually do with the remainder number. Remainder, like when you have these fractional numbers and the remainder number that it is remain that cannot be used again, like not whole number, this is going to be the module. If you do something like this, 1 is going to be the module, and it's not going to be 5 or whatever. So that is what actual module means. So module is just the remainder of a specific value that cannot be used anymore. Like now our integer cannot use this value again. What the integer just does is that it's you remove 10 from 50, it give it 40. You should remove 10 from 40, it give it 30. You should remove 10 from 30, it give it 20. You should remove 10 from 50. I mean, it remove 10 from 20, 21 actually. So I didn't really include 21. So it remain what? It remain 10. So it's gonna remove 10 from 15. It's gonna remain 1. So what the compiler does is that it ignored 1. But if you are using it in the module actually use only the specific remainder number, which is 1. That is what the module does. Different from division. Division only use the specific value, like 10, the first 10, second 10, third 10, 8, this one here, and also this one here. So the last one, which is the 1 here, is not used. It is ignored. But module is always specify the last value, which is the remainder. That is what the module means. So let's go to our programs and let's just try and look up to this. Let's try and look up to this. So let's do this one here. So let's just do let's do quotient again. Quotient break. So we're gonna do like add the value of or let's say number 3. So we have, let's say we have 50, 51, and we have another one which is 4, so it's going to be 10. So we're gonna have sorry, quotient, sorry, reference, and we're gonna have the value of, we're gonna do this number 3 divided by 10 4. So it's gonna be 10 divided by 5. So we're gonna see the results now, and let's print that out. So now we're gonna have quotient. We are just using any kinds of names. You don't really have to do some. You don't have to mean something else. No, not this specific one. So now if we do run something like this here, we're gonna have the value of 5. We're gonna have the value of 5. So that's what we're gonna get here. Even if you have the value of 2, if you have the value of 2, you're like 52. It's gonna calculate the 5. It's gonna ignore the 2. But if you use module is going to include what the remainder is. It's only specify the remainder. So let's try and the remainder number that cannot be divided anymore, or cannot be used anymore. So let's just do that's the control this, and for the terminal. So we're gonna do this dot code lab, sorry, and this is error. What is wrong with me? Calm down, guy. So now verifying. So now I have the quotient reference, and we have 5 here, which I said is going to give us the value of 5. So you guys should notice, even if I include 5 here, since 10 cannot be divided by 5, it's not going to add 5 to me. It's going to be 5 also. This answer is going to be 5. Even if I include 6, even if I include 7, even if I include 9, it's going to be 5. But let's try and run it again. And oh no, let's try and run it again, and let's you guys should see what's going to happen here. So Control Alt E and this. So you're gonna see exactly what's gonna happen here. So yeah, it's gonna ignore the 9 that we have here, because it's gonna do it 10 divided by 5. 10. You're gonna reduce or abstract the value from it by 10 by 10 by 10 until you get to the last, which is 9, and cannot divide 9. So it's gonna ignore the 9. So let's do this again. So now we're gonna have this again printed. So yes, we have 5 also. So our value is gonna be 5, but module is the value of the remainder that we have here. Let's try and copy this code, and we're gonna adjust little things there in order to avoid errors of redeclaring of our variable. So let's try and reuse this stuff again. So I'm gonna do stuff like let's just use this. Okay, so it's gonna complain actually, because it will complain definitely. If we compliance run now, it will tell us that we declared maybe we declared the variable. So let's make it 5, and you're gonna make it 6. So you can actually declare it. So instead we're gonna do module here. So module is gonna use. So we're gonna use this module here, and let's see our result. So this without reference is gonna be something else. Let's say refer. So let's just change some little things there in order to avoid error. So refer. So now let's try and run it again, and let's see our value. So let's try and run it again. Okay, I don't really expect this longer. Okay, now, so let's just try and clear the screens and let's run it again. Okay, good. Quotient reference, which is 9. You see guys that this 9 is being used as this referral quotient reference. So now I said the remainder of the value we have here is going to be like the remainder of the division we have here is going to be our module. So that is what module does. It's actually used or store the remainders of the value we have. So that's the excess of using the module. So in a situation whereby you want to use the module of a specific value, you can use this specific techniques to detect the modules of the value. So it's very easy for you to understand. So these are the basic operations of C++ program, the basic operation of C++ program. So I hope you guys understand these lectures, and it's not really complicated for you to wrap it up in your brain. So you can rewatch the video if you feel like. And thank you guys for being along with me to this very moment. Thank you very much.